Hello seekers, welcome to Punneit's Astrology, your one-stop astro channel. Mercury, the second fastest planet after Moon. Mercury, which rules mind, communication, intelligence, networking, social circle. Mercury, ruler of Virgo and Gemini zodiac sign, which will be in Capricorn and in Aquarius, will also go combust at the same time when Mercury is joining the handshaking with the energies of Mars and then in future with Saturn. And Mercury's combustion will be a problem when you will try to run very fast and you will try to execute things out of the blue, out of thin air. Or you try to be judgmental about someone, you focus on assumptions, you are taking decision on the basis of assumptions. But if you are being very practical, if you are working in a group, if you are cross-validating things, then the chance of error will be reduced. Mercury is combust for a pretty long time, from 8th February till 15th March. So you can see it's 5 weeks of combustion, and 5 weeks is a big time. Considering that this is the time when Mars is also exalt, Venus is in Capricorn, this can make you become jealous, this can hurt relationships, this can bring communication issues. Although Mercury's position is not bad, still it can always open a possibility to damage the relationship because Mercury means communication. Now it is being supported by the energies of Mars, but the problem is Mars is energy, but Mercury is the one that is going to carry that energy. It is the messenger planet. That means energy is everywhere and it is not regulated. So you will have to bring in discipline. That is what I am saying in my multiple videos. Bring discipline in life, because through discipline you will allow a streamlining of the process, and therefore the information will reach the right person at the right time. The energies will do the things they are supposed to do. Let's understand for each ascendant quickly what this combust Mercury can do. After you watch this video, do watch my Mercury transit in Capricorn video, where I have explained in details about each ascendant by the placement of Mercury. Combine with this video and you will get more insights and a deeper picture and a better clarity. For consultations, you can drop me an email, and please like, subscribe and share the video. Let's start ascendant wise analysis. Aries, for you Mercury is getting combust, and that means the 3rd house and 6th house will be affected. You need to watch out for your initiatives, because this time when Mercury is getting combust, it is associated with Mars and soon it will associate itself with Saturn. That means when to start and when to stop will be a difficult question here. Also, Mercury being in the Capricorn zodiac sign means Mercury is in the 10th house, so it will affect your career, although in a positive way. But what might happen is that you might overdo something or you might fall short if you fail to judge. So you need to be very careful, very mindful in how you are judging the situation. When you are going to invest your money, you need to be cautious, and when you are communicating with your supervisors, when you are communicating with your boss, with the team members, you need to be slightly careful. Sudden expenses may rise, and this is the time when you should pray to Bhagwan Ganesh. From the relationship front, this is a time when you will be more focused in your career, and that can bring in arguments. You may miss to fulfill your duties, you may overlook your primary objective, and you are more focused on your career and other goals. Priority will be a problem during this time. So try to maintain a work-life balance, although other planets are there to support, but still Mercury is combust for quite some time. So you need a proper planning when you're proceeding in life. From the perspective of health, you won't realize when you have overdone, when you have overstressed yourself. So try to be relaxed and take one step at a time. Taurus ascendant. For Taurus, see, the situation is that Mercury is your 2nd and 5th lord. Mercury is in the 9th house. It is in a good position, but because it is under combustion, that means it is kind of invisible to your eyes. There are certain decisions that you might take without taking your family's opinion in question, without considering your children, without considering the feasibility of your decision. So you need to check all that before you plan something. Mars is there to support, Saturn is there to support, but proper planning will be needed. Communication can become a big problem, and you will try to absorb a lot of emotion, and maybe you won't try to speak it up, or when you are trying to speak, it may be in a wrong proportion to a wrong person in a wrong situation. This Mercury can give you problem in satisfaction. You will not be happy with what you have, and you will desperately try to experiment with your luck. Don't do that. People should be careful while you are evaluating or doing the stock trading or speculative businesses. But otherwise, Mars is there to support. But Mars's support means you need to listen to other people's advice. Overall, it's okay, but you need to understand that if you start neglecting the opinion of your loved ones, of the people who are your well-wishers, then you will be facing a downfall. Unnecessary expenses will give you stress. Stress will give you health issues. So be careful, especially if you have nerves, muscle or blood pressure related issues. Gemini. Now for Gemini, Mercury rules your first house, it rules your fourth house, and it is combust in the 8th house. Sometimes you may be so over enthusiastic that you will ignore the problems that will come in between. You will ignore the red flags. Don't do that. Proper research and meticulous planning is needed in order to mitigate any risk during this time. Although the time is good, still it is a time where change is needed, and you may overlook that change. You may feel or assume that the business as usual is the right thing to do. But I will tell you, if there is a change needed, and if you observe that, then a change becomes necessary. See how you can apply or at least plan for a future execution. Also, you may overlook the requirement of your life partner or business partner during this time. Investments will come, but you may find it difficult to pitch in, or when you are giving a presentation or when you are trying to convince someone, it might be difficult for you to put forward your point. So a lot of preparedness is needed. Do not go anywhere unprepared, otherwise you will be facing an embarrassment. Your body language, your attitude should reflect confidence, and for that, meditate. Cancer Ascendant. For Cancer Ascendant, Mercury rules your 12th house and 3rd house. So it rules your expenses, it rules your confidence, your abilities, your capabilities. And this Mercury is going to be combust. And when it is combust, try to understand that Mercury is either with Sun, Mars or Saturn hovering around your 7th and 8th house, which means it may affect your married life. You need to be very careful about your speech, how you are expressing your emotions, and how you are putting forward your point of view. Clashes might happen, but take it as a normal day-to-day life, and don't give too much of importance to small talks or small things. Try to ignore some of the fights or few things said during the fight, and don't be oversensitive during this time. Unnecessary expenses may come your way, especially medical expense, and for that chant Mahamrityunjay mantra and pray to Bhagwan Ganesh. Now for Leo, if you observe, Mercury is very important. It's your 11th lord, it's your 2nd lord. And this Mercury is going to go combust. That means you might suddenly face financial problems where there is no real problem, but maybe a future problem. So you might be worried more about something that might happen, but is not really going to happen. So if the worry or stress comes in your life, you have to tell yourself whether it is a real stress or you are just assuming the stress, because what that will do is that will change the way you plan. Fear will set in, and that fear will stop you. prohibit you from taking certain decisions, and it might be a very important decision of your life. Also, you need to focus on your prarabdha, you need to focus on your duty. Don't burn out, don't work too hard, but work smart. And in case you are facing any problem, take help and ask the elders, are you going wrong? Because you need someone to tell you where your mistake is. Virgo. Now in case of Virgo, your ascendant is ruled by Mercury, which means your physical personality is Mercurian in nature, and this Mercury is combust in the 5th house, which means that you need to take control of your expenses. You will consume a lot. That means you may end up buying more things, assuming you have deficit of something. Also, food related issues, digestive issues may give you a little bit of trouble. If your gut is clean and healthy, so will be your thoughts. So practice yoga, eat healthy, and do not eat non-vegetarian or any such food that can trigger tamasic thoughts in your mind. Meditation, yoga is very important. Too much reliance on speculative business, sudden greed, suddenly jumping into the bandwagon and you wanting to extract the maximum, that won't work. I know Mars is there to excite. Situation may be very, exciting. You might find an opportunity, but be very practical. Otherwise, you will see the reality very soon. And if you are practical, you will see success. Libra. Now in case of Libra, if you observe that Mercury is again a very important planet. Mercury rules your 9th house, it rules your 12th house, and then it goes combust in your 4th house. It can make you very sensitive to small things. You might ignore certain communication which comes from your well-wishers, from your loved ones, from your friends, from your family. You need to give importance to people who are close to you. Otherwise, this will create a war between people whom you love and people who admire you. And especially if you are an influencer, if you are into media, you need to be very careful and value those who value you. Although it's not a bad time, but what it can do is it can create unnecessary expense on assets. You might just go on buying stuff, building things, assuming you are creating assets. But my advice will be that take an advice from a financial advisor before jumping into investments. Overall, it's not a bad time, but health of mother, especially if your mother has some neurological problem, can trouble you, can make you worry. But if you have any such problem, do a Ganesh Havan in your home and chant Ganesh Kavach every day. Scorpio. Now in case of Scorpio, Mercury is one of the 8th house energies, and when 8th house energy goes combust, sometimes you don't realize where the problem is coming from. This might create a response in a very negative direction. You might also have misplaced anger, which can, ruin your own image and which can hurt your loved ones, because anger that is originating from place A will be released at place B, where place B was not at fault. This can create a series of negative karmas, because then you owe something back to the place B, and then it creates a very different, alternate universe of karma. So be careful there. That means you need to show restraint, you need to show humbleness. Why? Because your ascendant lord is exalt, and that too in the 3rd house. Mars is getting all the directional strength. It is the karaka of the 3rd house, and then you bring Mercury there. Definitely a lot of changes will happen. You will try to involve into a lot of changes. You would want to take matters in your own hand, but you also need to respect those things which you can't control. That means absolute control is not possible. Praying to Bhagwan Hanuman and understanding Hanuman Chalisa, reading Sundarkand will be an excellent remedy. Try not to go into any fight with your siblings, especially your cousins. And if you are trying to invest somewhere, be careful, invest logically, and invest in a conservative manner. Risk should be avoided. Sagittarius. Now in case of Sagittarius, Mercury rules your 7th and 10th house. This Mercury goes exalt in the 2nd house, then Sun goes with the Saturn. So what it can do is, it can bring changes in your spouse's life, which we already discussed in the Mercury transit video. But certain aspects may confuse you a lot. You would want clarity, but clarity might not come. In those cases, I will say hold on, let Mercury become direct. So wait for Mercury to come out of combustion, and this will give you a lot of clarity. Also, some confidence dip may happen. You might expect your family to react in a certain way, and suddenly the communication coming from them is like no communication, complete silence, or something pretty opposite of what you have thought of. So be ready for all possibilities, and don't pre-plan a lot of things. Hold on, take one step at a time. For Capricorn natives, Mercury will be on the ascendant. It is going to be Combust, first because Sun is in Capricorn, then Sun will go to Aquarius, and Mercury will meet the Sun and Saturn very soon, and Mercury will go in deep combustion. This means a lot of reality will hit you, but you may try to ignore it. You may try to reject the reality. You may try to still force your way through because of the sheer power of Mars. See, that is good, but you can't ignore the fact Sun will always rise in the east, it won't rise in the west. Similarly, you have to accept few facts, and the more accepting you are, the more accommodating you are, the more flexible you are, the better your life will be. This is the best time when you assume that there is a higher power above you and you are serving that higher power, and with higher power I mean the God, and you just focus on the teachings of, say, Bhagavad Gita, Ramcharitmanas, Mahabharata, Ramayana, ancient scriptures, and that will help you a lot. And in case your anger is out of control, if you are getting this nervousness, if you are getting a lot of anxiety, Bhut Pishach Nikat Nahi Aave, Mahavir Jab Naam Sunave. Take the name of Bhagwan Hanuman. Aquarius will experience a combust Mercury while Sun is transiting from the 12th house to the 1st house. Therefore, a lot of mismatch will happen while you are dealing with your spouse or in business. So be careful there. There can be legal complications. Some paperwork might be missed. Some plan might get derailed, and some things may change. Small things that happen on a day-to-day level. Difficult to tackle, difficult to plan for that. It is best that you be ready for such things and handle it one step at a time, one day at a time. See, it's not a very bad time, but yeah, unnecessary expenses may create a lot of trouble in your mind. After all, Mercury is your 8th lord, but it is also Vipareet Rajyog. But the problem is that when things are opposite, even when you are winning, you won't realize that you are winning. So, because you will realize that you are not winning, you will try to do more. This can be like a karmic suicide. Don't do that. Be patient, be humble, and when you are not sure, ask someone whether you are in the right track. For Pisces, Mercury is again the ruler of 4th and 7th house. This Mercury goes in 11th house. This can make you greedy. You won't realize who is in your support, who is your well-wisher. If somebody is praising you, if somebody is admiring you, if somebody is making you famous or popular, you will try to seek validation, and that can be a big problem. Although this is not a bad time, but the thing is, if you do certain things like you constantly seek validation, you're constantly trying to overlook the red flags, you might fall into a big trap, especially a financial trap. Also, you will constantly try to seek happiness, but you might feel not happy. You will do a lot of things, but you won't feel happy. So be in the moment, be in the present, and meditate. Meditation will save you from a lot of anxiety, depression, or any such mental trauma. On the other hand, meditation will help you enjoy the wealth that is coming. Do not reject wealth. And in case you want a purpose in life, do certain donations and pick up a cause and try to work for that social cause.